Wake up early every day and think about you. Wake up early and I feel your grace, I feel it all. I found love, this is enough, I won't let go.
The Wisdom and Opinion Show.
Welcome once again to the Wisdom and Opinion Show, featuring your man's Prophet Josiah. I have a slight headache today, so just bear with me if I'm kind of looking off into the stars a little bit. Today, with me, as always, we have the infamous, this guy here, as my finger disappears.
2B in the building. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Wisdom and Opinion Show, where we talk about wisdom from God and opinions
from us. Yeah, it's opinions from us. That's it. So, yo, we allowed to make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect around here. So, yo, today we're going to talk about sameness. Same-Ness. So, you know, everybody wants to be the same. I get it. It's easy to go with the flow, right? Like, yo, everybody's doing this. Let's do this. I personally never liked being the same as everybody else. I grew up in a time where, I mean, sameness is a thing that's been happening forever. You know what I'm saying? You want to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody's doing. But as my cousin put me on to being different. He was the first person that I ever knew that was just like, yo, don't do what everybody doing, yo. Do your own thing. And I just was like, well, why would I do that? And he just was like, yo, because when you do your own thing, that's what make people want to follow you. And then you'll have people doing what you doing. And that just seemed so cool with me. And he was like basically the epitome of that. Everything he did, I would see other people doing it. I mean, he was like a really popular person. So like he would have friends and his friends would come over and I might happen to be over there and his friends would be talking like he talked. They would move like he moved. They would dress like he dressed. And I know that he didn't get it from them because he just came up with it a month ago. I watched him switch up like, oh, you know what? I'm about to start rocking these. And then he would say, people gonna start rocking these shoes, watch. Because these is the joints. People ain't really on it like that. And then a couple months later, I would see mad people doing it. And his best friends would be like his first disciples. Like they would be on it. And I'm just like, yo, this is wild. And he just was saying like, he was saying when you do your own thing, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of makes you special and like unique. And you know what I'm saying? From that point on, I just was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, what you think?
Absolutely, man. Listen, it's funny because, you know, growing up in high school, the peer pressure is real. So we're kind of conditioned, or I'll say people are kind of conditioned to want to fit in and want to do what everyone else is doing because back when I was going to high school, at least, you were kind of ostracized for going against the grain, depending on how you went against the grain.
For sure.
So
you can only go against the grain, but so far before you were
so like, much. So before,
outside of the boundaries, like, oh, you a clown, like,
right, exactly. So I know for me, even though I felt like I was always a leader, when I was in high school, I felt peer pressure to do what everybody else was doing and to be and to say what everybody else was saying until like I had kind of got to a point where I was just like, yo, like, this is not me. I got to be who I am. And I wasn't comfortable doing what everybody was doing, but I was doing it so I could still remain popular or so that I could still be with the in crowd. Right. And so I got to a point where I was like, yo, I got to do me. I gotta switch it up. I got to be like your dude said, like the guy who's doing his thing and making people follow them, not the guy that is following after what other people are doing. And then that's the mindset I had. And I think a lot of times that I've even taken until now, like once I got to that mindset, I never went back. Like I just refused to go back. I knew.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, yo, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care how people think about it. I don't care. And this is permeated through my whole life, be it music, be it whatever. I'm like, yo, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I feel like is over here. And if people get with it, they do. If they don't, they don't. But overall, I think it's caring about what people think is the big problem. Like too many people care about what people think even into adult age. It's cool when you're in high school, but when you get to be an adult, you should kind of like chill that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think it's okay to care what people think.
Over caring.
Right. To a, you know what I'm saying? It's just to a certain extent though. Like I care what my wife thinks. I care what my children think. I care what my mom and dad think. They have more weight, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What they think has more weight. I still kind of do whatever I want. But if my wife is looking at me like, why are you doing that? I'm going to wonder why. Like, wait, maybe I'm doing something that's not cool or whatever. Maybe I should pay attention to that. But random dude on the internet, random person in church I don't know like that, like, yo, why are you doing that? Like, because I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, this is,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, this is just me. I think people have a really big problem with just kind of stepping out on their own, doing something that might just be different. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you don't want to be out there seeming like you're by yourself. And it's like, well, yo, nobody's doing that, yo. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing that? And it's like, because this is what I want to do. And it's like, the more comfortable you get doing what you like to do, it's like the more confidence you gain in yourself, especially once you see other people doing it, other people bigging you up, other people like, yo, why are you doing that? That's dope. Like, who put you onto that? Like, I put me onto that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like, even my album cover right there that's behind me, it's like, yo, that was my idea. You know what I mean? Somebody was like, you know what I'm saying, when I told people I was working with about the idea, they was like, that's going to be corny. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a hand of God, like, touch you in the back, this, and that. I'm like, no, it's not going to be corny, yo. Like, when I do it, when you see it, if this dude that is the artist is going to be doing it, if he's as good as I think he is, it's not going to be corny. And it's like, I don't know. That sound kind of whatever. I was like, watch. And then when I did it, then it was like, yo, this is fire. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Had I listened to them and it's like, oh man, y'all think that's corny? I'm not doing it. Then what? Now I got some whack cover, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't do my idea. And it's like, you got to be willing to kind of put yourself out there to at least attempt the things that you want to do, even if other people don't think it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Absolute facts, man. For me personally, like, you know, I'm as well a drummer. And I remember back in the day, I had went and me and a couple of my peoples, we had got up. And the acoustics in the church was weird. So my guy had these, I think they're like the headphones that you put on your ears when maybe at the shooting range or when you're at a factory and stuff like that. And so I was like, yo, he had them laying near him because he had just came from work. I was like, yo, can I borrow those real quick? So I put them on. But the drums sounded great. Like, they sounded better than like they had. And I was like, oh, I'm doing this. I was like, yo, you got another pair? He was like, yo, you can have those, man. I got plenty of pairs. Yeah. So everywhere I was going, now mind you, at the time I was traveling. So everywhere I was going, I had those. I put them on. People would be looking at me like, yo, what's Stu doing? Yo, like he's yo, this guy. But to me, I didn't care nothing about that because the sound sounded so great. Next thing I know, I'm going to churches. I'm seeing
everybody
people. Everybody
got them now.
Yeah. Everybody got them now. Like they got them. I'm seeing them get on or whatever. And they putting their headphones on and like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And saying that, what I'm saying is that a lot of times people don't get remembered for following. They get remembered for leading. It's those people that get remembered for leading. Like, to this day, people associate that with me. That's been years. But to this day, that's the case. Now, those that did it, they don't associate it with, it's just like they did it. But people spend too much time trying to follow people and nobody's even going to remember you.
Yeah. And even if people don't remember you, it's just the fact of like, you're not doing what God called you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, God made us all individual people. You know what I'm saying? We're all similar, but we're all different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a different fingerprint. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something that's unique and special about them that God gave specifically to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you need to figure out what that thing is that's unique about you and go all into that. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're having a conversation with people, whether it be online or whether it be in person, you know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, like, two can attest to this. Like, yo, if I don't feel something, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to agree with you. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We should do that. Like, nah, like, I have my own opinion and I really don't care whether you agree with me or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to really argue with it, but it's just like, yo, this is how I personally feel. I feel like it should go this way. And you should be able to stand up on your own opinions. You know what I'm saying? At first it's difficult because you don't want to seem like the oddball. You don't want to go against the grain. But you never know, like, your opinion, your thought pattern could be something that God specifically gave you that's going to set whatever it is off into a new level, into a new plane. And you holding on to it and not wanting to share it could be the thing that, like, brings everything down. And it's like, yo, walk in your God-given purpose, man, and rock it out all the way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yes, I can attest to the fact that, pardon the interruption, but if you like what you saw so far,
make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their mama to tune in right now. This is your chance. Right now. Hit the bell right now.
Yes, I can attest to the fact that you are exactly like that. Like, you are like that. But I can also attest to the fact that I'm like that too.
Right.
So, I mean, it's you know what I mean? I stand on what I stand on, period. Like, and I cannot be moved. So
I shall not be
moved at all. But no, I like we was talking about earlier, I think the fact that people are not standing on what God has given them is one of the main reasons why we have so much similarity, even in terms of music. Like, you listen to music, everything sounds the same. Like, it's like I said, it's almost like the same song, but they just passed the mic to a different leader. Like, they just, you know what I mean? But it's the same song. And
there's not a lot of uniqueness.
No, growing up, me and Prophet, we grew up in the 90s, 80s, 90s, but more so grew up in the 90s, where diversity was the key. And everybody had different things. There was so much. You can go back now and listen and nobody sounds the same. It's like people didn't want to sound the same. They wanted to come out and they wanted to sound different. And now everybody wants to do the same thing. They want to say the same phrases. They want to have the same music. Everything is the same. Nobody wants to be different. And I think that's why you have a lack of creativity that's out there. And you have a lack of people. Do you have a lack of us seeing like anything motivational to make people want to do different? And we got to change that. People got to change that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's weird because sameness is like celebrated amongst the creators, right? So it'd be like, yo, you need to beat like this because this is the thing now. You're saying you need to flow like this because this is the thing now. This is what you got to do. And so it's celebrated to be the same. Where like back in the day, it was like the opposite. Like if you sounded even remotely close to anybody, you was clowned out the gate. Like if you started rapping and it was like, oh, yo, this dude sound like Method Man. Like, you a clown. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, yo, he sound like Biggie. Like, what is you doing? Yo, just shut up, yo. Shut up. Biggie's already out. Like, we don't need another one of those. Make your own style. And so, you know what I'm saying? It was like a negative to you know what I'm saying? Even if you wasn't doing it on purpose. I knew people where their vocals and the way they talked, it just happened to sound like somebody else. It wasn't even that they were trying to do it on purpose, but they would get that stigma. Yo, your voice sound like Nas' voice, yo. And then they would like purposely change their voice, even though that was their natural voice. They'd be like, yeah, but I'm not trying to sound like him. So then they would create a new voice. Like, I can't be sounding like Nas. I can't be sounding like so-and-so because I don't want people to do that. Where now it's like, yeah, you sound like everybody else. Yo, that's dope. But here's the weird thing though. The creators celebrate sameness, but then the people that are at the top of everybody's top 5, top 10, top 20 list all sound different.
Right.
So it's like it's like super weird. You celebrate sameness, but then you're like pinnacle of the greatest person sounds nothing like that.
Right.
So it's like, shouldn't you want to be different instead of trying to sound like the dude that's on the top? Make your own style so you can have your own hill to kind of stand on. And it's okay to be different or to think a different way than what other people think.
You know, I think the thing is, you know, is it okay? Because people,
obviously not to some people.
That's what I'm about to say. According to what you just said, then clearly it's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that is the problem. Maybe that's the biggest problem right there, is the fact that a lot of people feel like that it's not okay to be different. It's not, you know, change is hard for anybody. So technically, anybody that's doing anything that involves change is going to have, you know, a difficult time changing, because change is different. But
for sure,
it's not seemingly okay to have your own opinion. It's not seemingly okay to have your own thought pattern or have your own thought process. And then on the flip side of that, it's seemingly not okay to stand on your beliefs as well. So you can be the one to be different and say, I'm different and I feel like this. People got a problem with that. You can be the one to be like, no, this is what I've been standing on. And, you know, that's how I was brought up. This is how I was raised. I'm going to rock with that. And then you got different people come. The people that want to be different are the same at the same time, because they're saying like, yo, you should change, yo. You should change. You need to switch this and you need to do that. We progress past this and we need to progress past that. So it's like on both sides, to be honest. So is it really okay?
Here's the thing. I mean, this is a great little segue, right? So it's like, it's like so I personally believe anyway, wisdom from God, right? Opinions from us. This is my own opinion. Mm-hmm. I think if you have your own opinion, you should have some kind of reasoning or like backup as to why you believe that thing, right? So like if you say, nah, I don't rock with that, I do this. If somebody asks you, well, why is that? Like, why do you think that way? If you can't back up your own reasoning, you probably shouldn't be thinking that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to back up what you're saying. Like, if I be like, yo, I don't think people should rap the same. Well, why? Because that's the thing. Well, I want people to sound like individuals. I like hearing different voices. I don't like hearing the same rap pattern and the same keywords being used in every song I listen to. I don't like hearing the same beat every time I turn a new song on. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, yo, I can even tell when the drops are going to, it's like everything's the same. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I value diversity. So that's why I think people shouldn't be the same. Now, sometimes people have an opinion or they're just different just to be different. You know what I'm saying? With like no reasoning. And it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Where some people color outside the lines because they just want to be outside the line, but it's like going against what God said. So it's like, yo, I don't want to be so different that I'm outside of what God told me to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's not cool to be different just to be different for no reason. I'm saying you got to color within the lines of what God has given us, but what God has given us is so vast that like we can make many different choices, still be within the lines and still be different from each other. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does to me. I think, you know, my question is, how do we celebrate individuality? You know what I mean? Like, in terms of, it seems like most people come at people for their beliefs, being whatever it may be. Like, most people are going to come at people for their beliefs, but how can we just appreciate people for who they are and what they believe and just be like, yo, that's who you are. That's what you believe. Yo, that's cool. I don't feel like that, but that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that we see that more than we see like people trying to persuade people to feel like or believe what they believe.
Right. And I don't know how you do that per se. other than just respecting that, like, yo, God made this person like an individual. I personally like when somebody's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I remember when, what's this dude's name? He's in like, Disturbing the Peace. Like, what's the name of that dude?
Oh, Ludacris.
Ludacris. Yo, when Ludacris, you know what I'm saying, when he came out, his style was completely different than like everybody else.
Right.
He raps,
Right.
he was like, oh, I do this and that. Ba-da-da-da-da. Then he would rap regular. Then he would do like this other thing. And it just made him so like unique. Even his videos and the concepts he came up with, where he had the big bobblehead and everybody had a little body. It was like, I hadn't seen a bunch of people doing that before he did it. And it was like,
right.
Yo, this dude is tough. Like he has his own style. He deviated from what other people do. Saying he had enough of the sameness and enough of uniqueness mixed together that made him sound dope. And it's like, that's something you like really rarely see. People typically, it's like, oh, this is how people rap now? Then I need to rap like that. People got beats like that now? Then
Absolutely.
I need beats like that. So that I can fit
Absolutely.
in. The problem is, if you fit in too much, you don't stand out. You just fit,
right.
You fit right in. Nobody's going to remember that. And, it's really difficult for me to listen to music where I hear the same rhyme patterns. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, you're dope. Like, you know how to put words together. This person is a really dope lyricist. But I've heard this pattern like 900 times. So it doesn't really move me. It's just like, cool. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, or some other variation of that. And it's just like, I've heard this before. I get it. You're like a dope MC, but like, you're not pushing the bar. It's like you're doing the status quo. You're doing what everybody else is doing, and you're getting praised for it. So you feel like you don't really want to push it anymore because you're already getting praised for it. But the people that I find that the people that I really enjoy, they either could do all the styles and their own style, or they're just completely different. Like if you look at, I'm saying, even within Christian rap, right? The people that sit at the top, they're all different. If you look at Bizzle, Eshawn, I hate the fact that I can't think of other people's names right now. It's a bunch of people that are like super dope. If you look at all the people that are really popular, have a bunch of followers and all that,
Lecrae,
they all sound different. Yes, they all have their own style that's different from the other one. Bizzle don't sound like Lecrae. Lecrae don't sound like Eshawn. Eshawn don't sound like Derek Minor. Derek Minor don't sound like, you know what I'm saying, whoever else you want to name, AI the Anomaly. Like yo, everybody sounds unique. And those are the people that are sitting at the top of the joint. Why? Because they don't sound the same. When you hear one of their voices, you know who it is. Oh, that's so-and-so. I recognize it immediately because they don't sound the same. People that sound the same, you like mix them up. You like, yo, is that so-and-so? No, that's not him. That's so-and-so. Are you sure? Because it sounds like so-and-so. It's just like, why does he sound like everybody?
I mean, I definitely get it. I remember when I first started doing music myself, when I first started making beats, because that's, you know what I mean? Well, I was rapping even before I was making beats or whatever, but I got into making beats and producing and different things like that. And when I did, I was making them based on what I like to listen to. So it was like everything was kind of based on that, because that's what I like to listen to. And I never forget, I was young in it, and somebody came and told me, like, if you only do this, then you're only going to ever be able to get this audience right here. You're only ever going to be able to sell your beats to these type of people right here. Like, you have to be diverse and in order to, you know, really thrive. And I took that into even how I go in terms of making my albums or my EPs or things like that. And so I always do things that are diverse. They might be against the grain. They might be whatever, but I always do things that are diverse because I don't like, as you said, things that sound the same. I don't want a whole record sounding the same. Like nobody wants to. And now in the age where you can go on Apple and you can go on Tidal and you can go and on all these streaming platforms and you can listen to every song and just pick the ones you want, then if you got everything that's sounding the same, then people are probably only going to pick one song or two songs if everything sounds the same. So it's kind of like, so I refused to do that. And I still do. I still make diverse albums, diverse EPs. Like everything I do, they're going to have different beat tempos. It might have different rhyme cadences. You just never know. I don't ever know. I just know I don't want to be the same. I don't want to sound like everybody else sounds. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. And for me personally, I'm hoping that eventually that will pay off and people will say like, yo, he was doing what he was doing. But I'm not like afraid to do what I'm doing. I'm going to do
for sure
what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and I'm going to be me. And I'm not going to try to fit into the mold of what, I feel like other people feel like they have to do in order to get noticed. That's just never going to be me.
For sure. And I think too, which kind of leads to another thing too, like I'm all about doing whatever I feel like doing. Right. So like,
that's it.
If you listen to me rap, I'm probably going to be rapping the same, but I'm doing me though. I'm not going to rap like other people. I'm going to rap like me. I'm not necessarily wanting to just be different on every track. Like, oh, I'm about to do this other cool style. Cause it's like, I just don't want, like at the age I'm at right now, I just don't care anymore. Like I'm doing what I want to do. And so if you looking for what I do, then that's what I do. Like, yo, come check me. I don't do what Lecrae does. I don't do what Bizzle does. I don't do what so-and-so does. If you want that, go to them. I'm doing me. This is what I do. Now you might have a different style of track and you want me to get on it. I could do like a onesie twosie, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'll hop on it real quick.
A onesie twosie.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Meaning like it's just a onesie twosie. This is not my regular style.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm feeling this track or somebody want me to do a feature. Now, I mean, like somebody did that to me one time. It was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What tempo you like to rap at? I'm like, yo, I like to rap in this tempo. You know what I mean? That's my pocket right there. They gave me a track that wasn't in that tempo, like at all. And I just was like, yo, why did you even ask me?
Well.
And you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, you know what? He gave me this track. I'm going to do my best, you know what I'm saying, on the track. I did it. And a lot of people liked it. It was like, yo, like that's fire how you did this and such and such. And I'm like, cool. You'll probably never hear me do that again because I didn't even like the beat. I just was like, I wrote my rap to like some other beat on YouTube that I really enjoyed. And then I just found a beat that was the same tempo as that one. And then I just spit it in there because I wasn't feeling it at all. And I just was like, yo, but it came out to be good. So, you know, like you said, you like to do different stuff all the time, but that's what you like to do.
That's what I do.
I like to mix it up. So that's what I'm saying. Don't expect to hear the same thing.
But look at how dope that is. How dope that is, though. Like it creates individuality. It creates and it promotes, creativity when you have people who are like that. That's two different mindsets and ways of going about things. But if you hear my album, you hear your album, you're hearing two different albums, but they're both dope. Right. And that is the thing that, when you hear everybody sounding the same, or when you have everybody thinking the same, or where's the difference? Like I don't like, that's why there's so many flavors of ice cream. Everybody doesn't just want vanilla. Like everybody don't want the Neapolitan. Like the Neapolitan. Everybody definitely don't want the Neapolitan. Like they don't want that. That's why there's different flavors. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's different clothes. That's why there's different shoes. That's why everybody doesn't want that. But in terms of, the sameness as what we're talking about, there are a lot of things that people want. Like I was talking about it, and y'all comment on this if it's true, if you see it in where you from. Everybody's driving Audis. Like nobody, you know what I mean? Audi had a time where they weren't there. Like they were non-existent. Now everybody got an Audi truck. Everybody got a Benz truck. Everybody, you see almost the same cars. It's like people want to live in the same houses. They're getting new houses built that are all kind of the same. And there's a lot of, you know what I mean? People want to wear a lot of the same things. It's a lot of sameness and not enough differences to go around, in my opinion. People are scared to be different.
Or not only that, they have people that they have up here in their mindset, and they're like, that's what they're doing. I want that. You know what I'm saying? I want the car as this famous rich person.
Right.
I want to drive a Phantom. I want to live in a mansion with, you know what I'm saying, 600 rooms, 900 bathrooms or whatever. It's like, yo, I want that thing. So if I get the opportunity, I'm going to get that thing because that's what I want, because you have basically created them to be your leader. Like, yo, my leader's doing this. That's what I'm going to do. And like, I mean, as you know, I'm not really with like follow the leader. I don't care who you
at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I'm saying, like people even do this with pastors, mentors, whoever, almost to a fault. You know what I'm saying? I think it's cool to have a mentor. Obviously, it's good to have a pastor, somebody that can lead you, give you advice. But like, if you got so much stock in that person, what happens when they fall off? Or what happens when they do something that's not right? You don't know what to do now. Oh man, my pastor was cheating on his wife doing such and such. I had all my faith in this dude who's an imperfect person. He fell off. Christianity's bunk now. Well, you wasn't supposed to put all your stock in the dude. You're supposed to put it in Christ. So like, it don't matter how many people fall off. My stock ain't really in this dude. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't follow celebrities so much that it's like, oh, this is the car you supposed to get. No, I mean, like, yo, back in the day, these people set the trends. They set they even set the slang terms. I remember,
of course,
you know what I'm saying, Mobb Deep. It was something that they said that everybody started saying after the song came out. Where it was like,
was it Fugazi?
No, it was I can't remember what it is, but it's something that like everybody started saying after the song came out. And it was like a really popular song that they had. I think it was a song that like, what's the joint where it's like, yeah, rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose. Oh, Shook.
Oh, yeah, Shook ones.
After that, everybody started saying Shook. Like, oh, he's Shook.
Oh, yeah, Shook. Yeah, he's Shook. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And it's like, now, wherever they was from, Queens, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what they were saying everywhere. So that was normal to them. But to the rest of the world, it wasn't. So now, because they became famous, popular, so on the radio everywhere, now people everywhere is saying Shook. And it's like,
still saying it.
It's really interesting how much influence you can have on people when you kind of take on like a leadership role. It's like, yo, so I kind of don't know where I'm going exactly, but I was going to say it's good to be a leader so that you can influence people in a good way. And sometimes it's good to be a follower too, if what you're following makes sense. It's kind of like, I guess you got to have a good balance of both. You shouldn't just be 100% following people where you don't have your own opinion and your own thoughts. And you shouldn't just be 100% where I'm just doing me, because then you can just go off the rails and you get so far from reality where it's like, I'm over here doing my own thing. I'm going to do me. Cool. But like, nobody can relate to you now because you so far left. Nobody's trying to hear what you're doing.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a balance. Again, like I was talking about in high school, you don't want to be the person that's just like super far left to the point where nobody can relate to you at all. So there definitely has to be a balance. But I think, leaders lead. And if that's you, what I'm basically trying to say is don't be afraid to be different.
Yes.
Like that's what I want to get across on this particular episode. Don't be afraid to be different. Dare to be different. Dare to do things that everybody else is not doing, because you never know. That might be the very thing that gets you to where you want to be. And a lot of times people, for fear of people not approving of what they're doing or not getting with what they're doing, will sit on ideas and things that God has given them, and they will never do them. And then what I found that happens is somebody will do what God gave them to do, what gave you to do. Somebody else will do it and they'll get the result that you were looking for. And you'll be sitting back the whole time like, yo, man, but God gave it to me first. I already had that. God gave it to me first, yo. I already, look, I time-stamped it on my computer. I got to, you know what I mean? Like, I already had that. Now they doing it. See, now you somewhere bitter and you feeling like, oh, well, that should have been me. All because why? You didn't want to take the chance because you didn't want to be different. And you got to be, we all have to be, or at least attempt to do those things that seem like they're against the norm or against the grain or what everybody else is doing, because that could be the very thing. And I hope I'm talking to somebody who's watching the episode. That could be the very thing right there that gets you everything that you want and everything that you imagine and seen in your head. That could be the very thing. So don't be afraid to try those ideas you got, those concepts you got. Yo, do them. Do them. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise, man. I don't care what they tell you not to do. Do them because it could work for you.
Absolutely. Dare to be DIFFERENT. Yeah. No. But yo, make sure you like, subscribe, follow. We got more super dope episodes. So stay tuned. It's the Wisdom and Opinion Show. We appreciate you. Share, comment, like, follow, all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate you. It was nice. It was dope. Prophet Josiah, to be.
Peace.